off to a decent start if they don't lose too many players, and well, they lose nobody, so that's always a positive. But either way, let's not dwell on the pistol. I don't even want to think about it because it simply doesn't make sense, and let's leave it at that, right? That it doesn't make sense. It is what happened, and you know.
If we look at that top bar of our now rounds back and forth, all of a sudden Dust 2 becomes very CD-sided. I wouldn't go that far.
Nope.
Just because, I mean, I hope that also Pact do have a couple of ideas going into this and are not just going to run in towards those CTs every single round. Of course, maybe there is a reason why Illuminar decided for this round, and that is just because they play a decent CT side and didn't have the chance to start there. Lunatic already doing a little bit of damage. Generally expect strong T sides as well, but right now, Reitz especially already. His call might not be the right one, as he still might be able to pick up Sobol, and he does exactly that on the MP9. Such a strong SMG as well, as Maniz at least finds Veggie and brings it back to a slight advantage for our Ts, and maybe it is going to be the round where it is the first time where they really buy up into those rifles. They beat those guys, and Reitz still on a rifle. And if we do consider the damage, sure, the door is open, but Reitz might as well just hang on than have a stronger buy in the next round for his team.
Oh, he needs to hang on, and I mean, it's a 1-on-4, dude. Let's be fair here, right? He has no business searching for the save of the round itself. Just save what you can, in this case, your economy, and bring it on to the next. And I said that it's going to be important for Illuminar to win the gun round, the first one, and well, they don't. That's a pretty big L. The pistol, it helps them kind of raise up the bar a little bit, get a little bit closer, and you know, start chasing behind their opponent, sure. But losing this gun round, not only does it propel them back into a very, very uncomfortable economical state where they will continuously have to be careful as to what they do next, but also the fact that now it's 11-7 and the money for Pact is not really going to run out that easily. Plus, put to the point of all is the fact that, well, Pact is regaining momentum, regaining focus, and more specifically, they're going to be confident. And that's a scary thing to consider, given that they let them all the first half as easy as that. Like, they literally destroyed them in the first half, if one can even say.
I mean, the 10-5 scoreline was already pretty clear there. Sure, Illuminar, they win the pistol, they win the follow-up. But now this buy is very, very important for them. Already down low when it comes down to utilities. Sure, 3 Molotovs and 2 smokes are going to help on that CT side, but especially here as well. I mean, those guys from Pact, they've been using up a lot of their utility as well, just to gain a foothold in this round. Right now, nobody has fallen just yet. PHR to use up a smoke in towards mid, and Veggie is going to have a flash to support him. Finds one, finds a second. They line up for him on towards short. And he does so much damage towards Lunatic as well. All going to be down to him on 25 HP. And the CTs keep 4 players alive. And Illuminar, I guess that's going to be your way to try and fight it back in towards this game. And in just like 3 more rounds time, this could all be tied up, and Veggie surely could have had a 4K in that one. As Pact take another timeout. But nice to see that at least teams taking their time here. Not in any kind of rush.
Yeah, it's always lovely to see early timeouts. It speaks volumes that the team is getting ready. And is actively thinking on potential counters against their opponent. Also, they're thinking about buying or ecoing here, and well, the answer is it's an eco. Deagle's being brought up. They did have the money for, what, 3 rifles, I believe. Could have even gone for 4 AKs, but they didn't want to risk it all just for a single round with 4 AKs and a pistol or an SMG. And it is going to be Illuminar that will have an opportunity to keep themselves in check, and more specifically to keep themselves neck to neck to Pact itself. And Illuminar They did pay a high price, economically speaking, for the previous rounds. They're still not out of the woods yet, but they have themselves an opportunity to lock this result in place, and it would be a nice little showcase of their strength and quality if they're able to do so. Pact, meanwhile, sneaking on through short. Is Illuminar aware of this? They've got snacks on car that kind of watch the angle towards short, but they are pushing off. Oh, this could be a problem. I mean, Tyler, I've seen this so many times already. I don't want to consider what comes next. If Snacks is not going to be ready for the angle, here comes the execution. Smokes are starting to land, but Reitz will find himself a bit of a victim in Sobel on middle.
Yeah, because they dropped down in towards CT spawn, and that pulled Snacks back as well. And it just kind of delayed this whole performance a little bit longer, and then Veggie was there as well. So Pact really, I mean, they dropped one down, lost that player in towards CT spawn, second player dropped, and the point is just at that point that you are trying to just, well, whenever you lose that first player, you still have to keep pushing. You just can't allow yourself to just stop, because if you do stop dead in your tracks, then you do give the CTs yet again the chance to just rotate in, and that's exactly what they did. And so with that next round going to be coming up, a scout and an op on that T side alongside 3 AKs. And of course, Illuminar, they're going to be fully bought up into this, and especially they now also have at least one buy in their pockets as well. So even if they don't make it 10 here, then at least they can still hit back at Pact in that next round.
Yeah, this is
important one here at the start.
Yeah, this is very important. Not just that, it's the fact that they've got a scout on Lunatic, and he's on a glass cannon. Oh God, Darko. Oh, what? Mouse.
How does it all fall apart in the end? Goofy still over towards short is going to be caught out by PHR.
It's not even about that, dude. It's about Darko literally walking and Mouse walking into the corner of Darko. That's a little bit wonky. And well, luckily PHR. Yep. It's not done yet. Reitz, straight into the cross of Darko. And Darko will make sure that he cleans this mess up. I want to know what Mouse and... Was it Snacks with him, right? Yeah, it was Snacks. What Mouse was thinking. So Snacks gets shot from sight as soon as he walks out of CT angle, out of archway. And then a second later, Mouse does the same, literally a split second later, and does not even look above him yet. He saw that Snacks was shot from above. It's like, come on, lads.
Well, I mean,
focus.
Just that previous round wasn't even a nice round from either team. At the end of it, Darko got a couple of nice and easy kills, but then yet again, you walk in towards Reitz, over towards Long, he finds nice and easy headshots. So, I mean, sure, the shots are going to be there to also then secure it, but yet again, it is going to be a 12 here for Pact. Illuminar, yet again, losing their first in the form of Snacks up against Goofy. And this could now turn around.
Indeed it could. If the stars align, there's definitely trouble on the horizon. As Illuminar and their economy has taken a bit of a deep dive, they cannot afford to lose the round right now. They must pick this up. It's as simple as that. Well, they'll be as good as gone for this first map. We're about to find if that's the case. Let's see Pact pushing up through short. PHR, good hold. He's going to take an advanced position. This is a hard one to hold, but if you're lucky enough to get a few shots in, well, he does evade detection. Unfortunately, Mouse is not as lucky as Goofy finds 2. Oh boy, well, that's a wrapper. Yep, that's a wrap. That's going to be 13-9. The money starting to dwindle for Illuminar. As we said, economy has taken a bit of a deep dive, and they don't really have a choice in the matter. Unfortunately, they'll have to concede in this case. Like, they can't do anything. They cannot do absolutely anything.
Yeah,
Svegi, I don't know.
It was looking so strong for Illuminar as well, but then yet again the rifles come in. Mistakes on the side of Illuminar kind of tend to break them at that point, and It is just going to be that 13-9 now, as surely 14 to follow as well, as Illuminar down in the gutters. They're actually going to be forcing into a couple of upgraded pistols. Yet again, only 2-4 for that next round. So actually, Maus, unless he gets a kill, he's only going to have $3,600 for that next round. And then yet again, it raises so many questions. Why would you then, if you're at 1.9k, invest into a Deagle? Who knows? Maybe he can prove us wrong, or maybe just... It's not like he could stay alive either, because he doesn't have any armor that could help him in that next round either. So, yeah. Minis finding Reeds. The other 4 players still oriented over towards the A-bomb site, but... Yeah, as Pact finds 14, can Illuminar do anything to stop them from making it 2 more after this round?
Yeah, that's always the question, isn't it? Can Illuminar make a difference? Can they make it happen? Well, we'll find our answer pretty soon, I think. Either way, it is going to be the curtain slowly closing here on our first map. If it continues down the way we've seen it go, this full eco does not bring any success nor any kills. They might... no, they don't even get Sobel with the bomb explosion, unfortunately. So it's not meant to be. Well, it's a bit of a disappointment, what it is. One would have imagined that Illuminar would have performed a little bit better, given that this is their map choice. But it is going to be our 24th round. 14-9. The last huzzah for Illuminar. They can't screw this up. It's as simple as that. They do. Did they screw up the smoke as far as I can tell? Yeah, they did.
I was like, you just said, sure, they can't screw this up, but then yet again, you fail something as simple as a mid-smoke. I mean, it's not going to be as detrimental as, of course, Mini's already going to be taken out by Snacks in towards long. Not going to be affected by the utility being used there, and Snacks going to recover not because of it. And this could be a huge turning point in favor of Illuminar. Still, cross-smoke in towards CT. Players over towards B already known as damage is going to be dealt.
Ooh la la. Hold on.
Finds one onto Maus, but Snacks, THR, everybody coming in towards effects. Sobel, bomb's going to be dropped in towards mid. He is doing damage, but not enough on towards rates. Illuminar might just be saving themselves here for a little bit longer. 14-10 now as Illuminar go double digits. However, Pact can buy in this next round to come. But yet again, tactical timeout is going to mean they might have a bigger plan than just kind of running out into this. Because yet again, I mean, Illuminar, they messed up here and there as well, but at least they were hitting their shots, and it is becoming more and more of a closer game by this point.
Yeah.
And the point in case as well, Minis shouldn't have fallen over towards Snacks in that previous build. Pact still in with that lead. And that being reflected right now as well. They might just run away with it.
Well, we're about to see that's the case. Illuminar, they cannot afford to... They cannot afford to lose control here too quickly. Must get the entry at least to begin with. And then maybe... there is life on the line for them. But let's find out first what's going to be the play for Pact. 2 players in middle, 2 players in front of long. And of course, Sobel holding the line in upper. Does look like perhaps that there's an inclination of a B split in mind with a bit of a fake towards A. If that's the case, they might be able to fool Illuminar, as there are 2 players in pit and 2 on site. Goofy still goes out long, gets 1, but that's not good enough, as he's the sole attacker. He will be traded out almost instantaneously. And yep, like I said, it is going to be a B take, not even a split. And this is crazy town. PHR has to stay alive, gets tagged, gets 1. That's a good start. It's a man advantage they can play with. PHR goes in for seconds and still gets, well, he gets extra. That is potentially enough to break the stride of Pact, as Illuminar double digits reached. 11th round might be on the board. And could it be another close series like yesterday that they had? It does feel like it. Darko, 1v3.
Yeah, they have plenty of information of where he's at. Nice done from that retake. And while Illuminar, especially also then having that two-pronged attack, having one player via the doors, having one player coming through the tunnels, always then gives a little bit of a element of surprise, or just to keep him back in that corner. And yeah, sure, 14-11 is going to be in there. But, yeah, pistols on the side of Pack going to be invested down to that 2k mark. Mini's already taking damage. And right now, quick and easy push out in towards long. Only one kill to happen though, as Veggie trades back, and important for him to hold on and not take any damage. But this should be a pretty straightforward round to make it 12 for Illuminar before Pact have another chance at investing, and then also to make the life a little bit more difficult.
Absolutely. It's funny how Illuminar now find, in the most important of rounds, they find life. They find the energy required. Lovely to see it. And it's you know, it's the most important off times that they get themselves back on the board. No, Snack's not going to be given the chance to shoot his shot, but, well, to hit his shot. And the plant could actually go down. If that's the case, that's a pretty big W in my mind for Pact. Like, not only did they get the plant, they got a single frag. It might not be much, but it's honest work. It's what it is. So I guess in a way, Pact have achieved exactly what they came out or set out to do. And that's pretty cool. 14-12. Still 2 rounds difference where Illuminar will have to fight tooth and nail.
And I'm still so surprised because I guess, yeah, sure, both teams are hitting their shots when it really comes down to it. But at the same time, I mean, both teams have been just really... I just go as far as even uncreative when it comes down to just their T side. They play the same stuff every single time and then get caught doing it most of the time as well. And we saw earlier from Illuminar on their T side where did end up going 10-5 to halftime. Sure, Pact were able to grab 3 rounds in a row, and if they would have had a pistol, then this game would have been over by now. But they didn't manage to get that, and with it, it is going to be 14-12 right now. Already the opening for Illuminar to get things started on the right foot. As yet again, Pact slowly but surely over towards the A bomb site. They seem to be going. At the same time, you do only have 2 players on towards short right now. Run boost into it. But then yet again, Reed's just kind of crouching in behind the barrels. Finding one player already. Need to follow things up. And Mani's in towards mid. Needs one. Find it as well.
But he gets
Mouse, though, on the trade is going to be there when it matters. And now on a 4-on-2, this is going to be a 13th round for Illuminar. Surely smoke to cover things off. Nade is going to be great here as well to do damage on towards Goofy. Mouse finds Lunatic, and this is going to be Goofy up against 4. 1 kill already found. Smoking towards doors. Molotov not going to be into window quick enough.
Yeah, the round is gone. Yeah. Unfortunately, he was in too bad of a position to really make a difference, and as soon as it was the 1-on-4 or 1-on-3, even after the frag, it was a little bit late to even make a difference. That is going to be 14-13. We are tying up the score, seems like, as Pact is forced to play Pistols and Kevlar again. They could go for Tech 9s, and they will go for timeout. I'm eager to see if they could go for a hero AK buy, maybe make a bit of a... Maybe make a bit of a goofy play and go for a straight rush. Because so far, they've continuously tried to be sneaky, or not even sneaky, just kind of, you know, they tried to be tactical about it. And I mean, in the sense that they split up, they tried to find entries, then do something on top of that, instead of actually just going for it and rushing it. Because sometimes the most simplest of ideas just work the best way. And in this case, I think this would be one of those instances where they failed for quite a few rounds in a row to pick up any traction. Maybe it's time to throw one wrench in the works of Illuminar and see where that leads you to, especially with Tech 9s and such, right? Don't slow it down, just go for it. This time Illuminar using the timeout as well.
But I mean, it comes down to the beef that I had with them earlier. I do want to go as far as saying it is a beef between the two of us, because at least with the teams and me, because literally you try to go over towards short, have all of your smokes in place, drop one down, Reitz finds that easy kill from CT spawn, and I mean, yeah, their smoke's down, but he was plenty prepared for it. You can see their shadows from a mile away as well. And then you just stop dead in your tracks instead of actually keeping it going. And sure, I mean, you're already painting out the picture. Yeah, they're just going to try and go aggressive.
Yeah.
And that is exactly what they need to do. But the fact and point is just that neither team on their T side has been doing exactly that, where they maybe have an opener. As soon as the other team gets one kill, they're just stopped dead in their tracks. Here, Lunatic with the single AK tries to be out long, and he doesn't get any support from his teammates. Instead of working with the team, all of a sudden now, you're already down the AK that was so expensive to invest into it. And now Illuminar, they can have plenty to work with here as well.
Like, I mean, for me, that just makes so little sense. Exactly so. It's like you have the hero AK and you decide that you will rush alone through long, and you've got pistols and you decide to go one by one almost. It's like, come on, lads, you know better than that. And they do get the plant. They are able to infiltrate the A site. Unfortunately, it will not make a difference for the round itself. It's 14-14 coming up. That much is guaranteed. Ladies and gents, we are going the distance, and that much is clear. It's 5 players alive on the side of Illuminar, and there shouldn't be less than 4 for the ending of the round itself, as the fuse will be coming through. Maybe another shot by Darko, but not even then that's going to happen. They at least get the plant, which is a bit of a bonus. You know, they do get that extra money on the board. They can get those AWPs out if they want to, but this is a bit of a disaster right now. Pact, they are playing weird, and certainly they're not playing to their strengths, and we can see 5 rounds in a row going to Illuminar for good reason, with obviously very much convincing performance by the majority of the players. And well, it is time to see if Illuminar have what it takes. Do they have the brass? Do they have the steel to take back down, as they are playing very split across the map? Pact is not really sure what they should be doing at all. They're just kind of playing a default and running up and down a little bit for the beginning.
Yeah, and at the same time, it has just been Illuminar also, well, keeping mid on the back burner, generally just keeping over towards A and B. And at the same time, the fact that Pact hasn't been able to capitalize off the back of that, taking control in towards mid, and then also having that 2-pronged attack over towards the B bomb site, they have been then shut down time and time again. Yet again now, Pact taking it slow, as you just said, but then Illuminar also exploring their options. Now 1 player down towards CT spawn as well, and Reitz ready to react as soon as an attack actually comes out. 2 players on towards short now to reaffirm that position. Yet again, the AWP still going to be over towards A, and Snack's going to be ready for it as the push towards short comes in, but right now it's only at 2 players. And that's just not going to be good enough. Lots of time going back and forth. Sobel needs to put out smoke and flash over towards the B bomb site to maybe just bind those players over there. Smoke now down. Snacks already expecting those players, as players now being dropped down in towards CT spawn. Darko, finally, they change things up, and finally it starts to maybe even work for them. Midnies, nicely done, as PHR finds one, but that's not going to be all, as the 15th round looks very, very likely. Beggy and Snacks still going. Beggy finds one, but the bomb's going to be planted. 3v2, as the CTs don't have anything to lose, apart from maybe the weaponry, but Maniz lines both of them up with the collateral in towards mid, and Pact finally able to grab another round. Can they close things out, as Illuminar will have another buy coming up?
Illuminar really like to play it on the edge, don't they? They leave themselves down to the bone, and well, now let's see that they don't scrape off the bone, as it is going to be 15-14, as you said, under the buy, double up, and look at this double peek through middle. Oh, Maniz though, catching on the snacks, trying to push into under. Well, that's going to be a bit of a big outtake. Illuminar now starting to run into a bit of a troublesome beginning. Their engine starting to splurt out black fumes, and that's usually a bad sign. I hope they check their oil, because otherwise they might be losing the engine. And Illuminar, it's a 5-man hit through long. Are they ready for it? 2 players on short, 1 in CT. They definitely have the defense to potentially bring this back, but we're about to see how this goes. Ladies and gentlemen, it is round number 30. It is the last round of regulation here on Dust. They are playing like the gods they are. And can they make it happen? We're about to find out.
Oh, Molotov over towards the site. Now there is going to be a lot more to come in. However, Goofy finds rates here already. Now as it comes down to it, 3 players yet again down and towards CT spawn. They're going to be trying to do much the same as Pac did earlier on their CT side, but yet again PHR finding Maniz, following up onto Lunatic. Bomb yet to be planted. Sobol, he is going to be coming in via long. Very important here, but Mouse might just get him. Doesn't hit his shots. Oh, and the nade, so good for Sobol, as it is going to be 16-14. Pact just about winning this map in the nick of time. Of course, it was the map pick of Illuminar, but both teams not really playing a great game over towards that T side, but Pact just about win it at the end of it. Oh, what a close one to close things out here.
Absolutely, and that is going to hurt in the fields, right in the fields for Illuminar. They are going to be devastated after this, but we'll see how they handle themselves on Vertigo, the second map, and this time the choice of Pact. If I'm Illuminar here, I'm starting to worry a little bit, that's for certain. But in any case, we'll be back in about 10 minutes time. Stay tuned as we return for our second map of this best of 3.
Needing that AWP to play with. Still. A little bit of early damage inflicted. Smiley dropped only to 88 points of health, though. Nothing to worry about. Sixer in the backlines, taking out Khan. That's a good way to start. Now with the early frag can work potentially, but Jemmy gets the response on that boost, picks it back to a 4v4, and just look at the utility that remains for LDLC. Holding a 4v4 retake, or even any sort of site push from SJ, is going to be so difficult given the circumstance.
Well, Afro finding Jemmy, but he's only the work here for SJ. The rest of them now slowly making their way over towards A, and Six is in a good spot to catch out the bomb planter. That is Arvid. Now slowly making his way towards Long, and well, have to give credit to SJ. They're really getting under the skin of LDLC with these slow hits.
Absolutely. It's one thing that they can't seem to, I wouldn't say handle, but definitely pre-prepare for. With 18 seconds or time really starting to tick now, Hadji almost forced to aggress in the smoke. Sixer, though, doing a great job. Still, Arvid spamming away, and he knows where one of these players is. Has to commit to the plant. Might have just gotten the final pick, but no. Picked off an LDLC, take the round just barely. Again, man solo surviving. So again, a further expensive round, but a victory nonetheless.
That was very, very scary there. Arvid turning it on when it was needed, but LDLC, by the skin of their teeth, will steal away another round. And 15-13, it's still match point for SJ, and very limited util, very limited money here for the entirety of the LDLC roster.
Beautiful so far. That's LDLC needing 2 rounds to get back into this game. Flashbang down towards B, looking for a little bit of early info. Nothing to be had or gathered so far by that LDLC side. So SJ once again putting the majority of this pressure down onto the A-long angle. Again, it's LDLC that will be somewhat prepared for this. Sixer with that M4 playing the off angle, sitting very, very comfortably. Flashbang was perfect, though, blinding him. No trade to be had, though, as Hadji will still go for the up-close personal play. With the bomb down in toilets, he'll look to defend it, but needs to distract as much as they can. But Hadji, he keeps on firing. He is not letting up at this point. A 4v2 now, and Hadji doing all the work for LDLC.
And such a beautiful flash there to keep him going. Hadji just firing off now. It's left up to Sadix. Of course, the bomb dropped in favor of LDLC. A 1v. Hadji playing close. Has retrieved that orb. Now will be turning his face towards bathroom, and Sadix finds that kill. But needs to make quick work here. 20 seconds now. Tries to rotate his way on down through connector, and he will be meeting a player just outside the door in a moment's notice. Afro with the close angle, with the Famous, puts LDLC now 1 away from overtime, and well, SJ not looking too likely on the buy here from Lynxie and Arvid.
Yeah, their money is thin right now. Luckily, Khan, with so much stacked economy, with $8,000, should be able to drop out a weapon, so it's not all bad here. There will be some necessary gifted rifles on that field, though. LDLC's buy still isn't great. No AWP out as far as we can tell, unless Hadji will be funding one, and that he exactly will do. So coming in to round number 30, potentially the first map of the day, heading into overtime. It's SJ that need a victory, but LDLC, the one thing that they are not afraid of is going into overtime here on Overpass. They've done that exactly against that Gambit Youngsters squad, double overtime even. So SJ Gaming, they'll be getting ready to hopefully close out this game in their favor, but it's LDLC that will want to go a little further. You almost feel like once they've got that $16,000 in the bank, once they can buy what they want, they'll be the more comfortable side. But SJ, they don't want to even think about that right now. It's this round they're looking to finish the job in.
And well, of course, it's to go without saying that the next map's going to be Dust 2, and if LDLC can steal their way to overtime and potentially upset this first map off of SJ, then one would very, very favor them to win this series overall. But it's all up to this round. Round number 30, do or die for SJ Gaming. And of course, playing it very slow, very stock standard for the moment. And LDLC likely as well playing very stock standard. 3 over towards this A side of things.
Time really starting to tick now here. SJ again loving these slower plays right now, as the smoke inside of bathroom will cut off their options. Sadix in the corner though, yet to reply as Afro. That's a great way to begin with the early frag. They'll force the full rotate. Sadix already onto the back of the B bomb site, surely not yet prepared for Smiley and Sixer. Responding with one of his own, but it's the B site now up for grabs. The bomb goes down, and a 4v3 retake with a single flashbang to do it. Although Sixer, that's a vital frag.
The run and gun AWP here, and well, very limited util left for LDLC. It's a good tag onto Hadji up in heaven. Now they know where these players are coming from there, and Sadix from the water will get 2. And it's now up to Hadji. What can he do? Sadie and Jemmy. Sadie just underneath. Hadji knows exactly where he is. Will come from the backstab though. Jemmy will take it 16 to 14. SJ Gaming will finally take that first map, but it's looking very, very strong from the LDLC side.
Oh, absolutely. LDLC, they look like they could have even won that map in the first half there, but Gentlemen, into our second map of this series. Dust 2 coming up here, of course. The map pick of LDLC, a map that they are looking to really exploit, given the fact that SJ Gaming have yet to post a win here on Dust 2 itself.
And, of course, we saw a very, very close first map there from LDLC, bringing the fight early on their T side, going 9-6, and really kicking it off strong here. But, of course, as you said, SJ haven't posted a win on this map in the past 3 months, so it's looking very, very dicey for them in this second one.
Oh, it's looking very unlikely, yeah. This knife round taking a sweet minute to actually come into fruition. Teams doing laps of the map, getting warmed up and ready. We thought Lambert would return for that second map as well, but he will unfortunately have to sit this one out. So it is maybe an easier opportunity for SJ to potentially post their first Dust 2 win in a long time, but there is, of course, that overwhelming, looming angle that they are really not getting the stable results on this map whatsoever. But we'll see how it begins. Of course, LDLC will be starting on that CT side due to that knife round going in their favor, but a really strong opportunity for the side of LDLC here, given their most recent results, even with some of their older roster intact here for SJ, when they had the likes of Zate, when they had some stand-ins in there. They have not won Dust 2 even since July and June, unfortunately, stemming right back to losses back in November of 2019. They've won it 3 times out of the 16 they've played it, so that is not a good set of results. But maybe there's a chance for change here. We'll see how it goes. It's SJ starting on the T side for this pistol.
And, well, I feel, at least in terms of a organization perspective, LDLC have been pretty dominant on Dust 2, and it's good to see it carries through to, of course, their newer roster. Sixer finding an early kill, a second one on Delinksy as well, but immediate trades by Body and Smiley. Left to Sadie, dropped to the floor, and a very aggressive pistol around there. Quick, clean kills there from Sixer.
Oh, perfect way to begin here so far for the side of LDLC. Picking up that early pistol. We'll be looking for a great start here in this one, and that is exactly what they get. No chance of a bomb plant for SJ, so we'll be down into a full eco for this round. And of course, we'll be heading into that third with the AK. So a chance here for LDLC to start racking up a little bit of cash, use those MP9s, those SMGs. Afro loves the UMP on Dust 2 as well. That was something he was using back in the Dawn stage, so has a lot of opportunities for this one just to rack up a little bit of extra money. But SJ guaranteeing what should be a long-sided commitment, looking to try and just force their way out onto this angle. Should be relatively standard for LDLC, though, backing away, playing safe towards car.
Very, very smart angle there from Hadji, and just lighting them up for free. Of course, taking a bit of early damage. Then Sixer as well getting dinked out there, though. Hadji already on for the ace. Down to 6 points of HP. Doesn't know if he wants to risk it or not. Peeking out that car angle here. Khan, last member left here for SJ, and where it will be, Sixer steals away the ace, but a clean cut around there for LDLC. Of course, only the eco from SJ, and now we look to see what they bring to the table here on Dust 2. Of course, AK's util invested into this one. And where will they decide to go here, Kieran?
Yeah, LDLC with that first sort of couple of statement rounds. SJ, surely we'll be seeing a lot more of those slower type rounds from them in this position again, like we did on Overpass. So we'll see if they can pick things up from the get-go, find an early victory off of the bat here. A lot of utility for that side as well to start setting up with some executions and such. But SJ, again, slowing things down. Back of a long presence at least being held by that T side for now. But LDLC, nice nades into short. Jemmy drop down to 50. That's a good set of damage there already, inflicting pain onto SJ without even seeing any of those players. And LDLC getting a great understanding already of this setup, pushing top A long and understanding that it's clear so Hadji can back away, play for short. LDLC looking pretty aware of what is going on right now.
Flash out through short here. It's up to Sixer just on the ramp here. We'll be going peeking for a bit of potential damage though, but Arvid finds that kill, looking for his second as he knows there's a player just in the open along here. Finds it through the smoke. It's actually Khan finding that kill, and some good trades from Body and Afro, but SJ have got the bomb down. And, well, now looking to set up for the post play there. Smiley spotting Khan, a very low HP on him. But Linksy finding the head, traded immediately by Smiley down to the 1v1. And Arvid only on 15 points of HP. The smoke lost him. And Arvid with the walk up, Arvid with the headshot. A very interesting first round there from SJ, but a round they much so desperately needed.
Oh, absolutely. That's such a great start for SJ, especially now with getting that T-sided first round on the board. A little more expensive. Some drops will be required for the SJ side to pick up anything substantial. The economy to be spent back up here in this one. However, LDLC themselves not too economically gifted. Arvid allowed to cross. In through the smokes he goes. Those flashbangs perfect though. LDLC keeping them blind for so long. A double to start, and SJ already having to back away.
Well, the rest of LDLC, of course, very, very set up at long. We've got Smiling over at B, and, well, Cross will be smoked for the time being, though. Smiley comes out peeking, gets 2 on the entry. Immediately traded by Jemmy, but dropped to the floor by Body. As that will hit the floor, and 3-1 LDLC. Of course, bounce back after dropping so close third round. And it's going to be up to SJ again on the eco, and maybe look for an upset here, because their T-side not going to look too great when you're staring down a very dominant dust-sided LDLC.
Yeah, one of the teams very notable for playing Dust 2, even in their sort of mixed teams where Happy was at the helm of that squad, where they were sort of bringing in players every single match. It was a sort of Dust 2 pick they would teeter towards in that situation as well. So good to see LDLC focusing on this sort of map, and again putting some good rounds on the board to start. 4-1 looking likely before the reinvestment here from SJ. With the way that so far this one is currently set up, minimal utility on the side of LDLC, expending into very little to keep up that bank. SJ, however, main objective most likely will be a bomb plant. I doubt they can really achieve that though, given the way that this site is being held. Drop down into CT will at least get a player ready for that defense if any rotates come through. But it's Hadji that rips them apart. Double and a triple to follow it up. A simple round for LDLC. Hadji with the 4K and a very swift eco victory. So, SJ back into the bite. We'll want to see them bringing out at least some victories on this T side. But like you mentioned, LDLC looking much more confident here already.
It's just absolutely beautiful there. We thought it was 6, but it's actually Hadji finding all of them, lining them up like dominoes on short there. And, well, as you said, SJ now on the buy, and, well, maybe looking to take a little more control here, because they haven't been winning these early duels so convincingly.
Yeah, that's where the one sort of update needs to come through. SJ right now with the tunnels approach. A lot of utility for this type of position. Still, Afro just jiggle peeking on the corner. Flash to come through. Smoke deployed. Afro to keep himself safe. Doesn't want to give up any type of angle, and SJ won't sort of be drawn into the fight this time. So they'll just sit back, wait for those smokes, even hedge a rotate this time. Seeming like the A-bomb site will be their preferred choice, or maybe even through middle, as they set up what seems to be a definite rotate here. So with a minute on the clock, there's plenty of time to do it. Now is the right choice to make.
And, well, they are walking their way up through short there. Hadji taking the early fight, winning it out. Khan quick to be traded out. And, well, Body finding nothing but head this time around and lining them up on short yet again. Sadie is looking his way up through long, but bomb dropped in the favor of LDLC. The molly going to be tossed. flush the position, but they're going to have to work quickly here. Body's found another kill. It's another headshot onto Jemmy, and Sadie has worked his way through long, finding a few kills, but again, bomb's still in the favor of LDLC, and not really much Sadie can do here.
A little bit stuck, unfortunately. Whilst he will get a kill to better his side, it will not amount to anything really that special here. 5-1 already for the side of LDLC. Money this time plaguing that T side as well. So unfortunately, tactical timeout going to be needed very early into this one as well, with LDLC so far onto a bit more of a dominant spree as we know it. So 6 rounds looking likely with an eco having to be taken. No reason to force buy into this round, given the scenario. Just want to bank up that cash for the next. Round loss bonus is at its maximum as well for the next round, so they will have at least enough if Sadix can buy up most likely something like a Mac 10 or a Galil at minimum. The rest will be able to full buy, so wise choice to make for this eco. But either way, LDLC looking like a much more stable side. Hadji on that 10 frags already, looking to make this round number 6 here and already start to pull away. Dust 2 looking as expected maybe so far. LDLC with that expected lead that we sort of thought they would get in this type of map. SJ, we know what they're, well, not capable of, unfortunately, on Dust 2.
That's unfortunately not any wins under their belt. Well, of course, stuck on the eco. Body very close. Afro to back him up at a moment's notice there. Smoke will be tossed, and rightfully so. HG traded in kind, and well, Sadie will win that early fight on the Body. A second on the Afro as well. He catches out both of the mid players here from LDLC, and now starts to put a gap here in the defense. An even AK retrieved by Arvid. Players start to rotate over to hold it off and keep the guns in their favor, but Arvid finding another kill. The AWP to walk up here from Sixter. It's going to be tagged. Does find the shot through the door, but the B site has been found here by SJ Gaming. AKs as well retrieved for 2.
Much better this time from SJ. A clean site take onto that B bomb site. One of the hardest B bomb sites to really take over in this map pool is the B site on Dust 2. Unretakeable, mostly in this position. So SJ, they'll force the save out of LDLC this time. A second round on the board for their T side. And we'll see what they can bring to this one. Heading into the next, Money will support LDLC, at least for that rebuy. Sixer can keep that AWP. That's the most costly element of that second sort of investment they'll need to make. So luckily, not needed this time. But LDLC, with the rebuy to come, do they maybe consider even a secondary sniper on this point? With the money they've got, it would be a very simple buy to make, but no, not wanting to overexpend. So just leaving Sixer. But 5-2, SJ presented with a little bit more of an opportunity to be able to work into this position now with a 5-3 and potentially 4 on offer if they can get some momentum behind them. But it all depends on how this one starts out here. LDLC sure with a bright start, but SJ looking to fight, and with their lack of wins on Dust 2 to close out the series, this would be a good start for them. But Jemmy inside of lower needs to be careful. Flashes and mollies expended onto short. A little bit of damage inflicted, but SJ more focusing on the B bomb site. And if really right now, if it's not broke, don't fix it. SJ can really try and exploit this B bomb site again.
We're going to have to be careful, of course, though. Smiley in a very good angle just outside a tunnel, and it's going to be up to how SJ can find a crack in the defense yet again. Of course, you saw the picks go towards mid, and that was on an eco of all things. LDLC very tightly strung together, though. Hadji walking his way up through, and, well, SJ will decide to pull the trigger towards B. It's immediately 2 kills be found. Afro as well, caught in the fire and flames, and found by Arvid. And Sixter now needs to run for the hills. Keep that AWP in play. On SJ, as he said, putting together these rounds now.
This is a scary sign here. SJ are actually really starting to pick up some early momentum, which is a great little aspect for them. If they can deny the save of Sixer as well, or just deny that AWP from being put into the next round, it would be a great way to already gather some early momentum. I mean, looking at some of the recent SJ results on Dust 2, they've barely even made it to double digits in some of these games. Sure, they went 16-11 with the likes of Fate, especially with K23, that was 16-12 as well. But then they've had some awkward results in 16-4s, 16-7s. They've had some really simple defeats for their opponents. So there is a likelihood that SJ, if they don't find momentum here, will be dropping out of this map. But to see them so close right now is a great start. To have this sort of position to be in is perfect. Lynxy on this eco round, just whipping players down easily with that AWP. A simple cleanup for this one, and 5-4 so far. As long as SJ keep close in this tally, as long as they can keep LDLC at maybe 1 round, 2 rounds maximum in this half, they'll be pretty much solid going into the second. And it's the T side where they need the majority. 4 rounds is great. And look at the B spawn they've got here. They should really look to put a lot of attention on this side of the map now. Or not. But so far, SJ in this position will be just setting themselves up for a upcoming set of victories, potentially. The money is now gone for LDLC. Any sort of rebuy that they have in the next will result in an eco. The SJ side actually looking very confident now. Potential to not just tie it up, but most likely take the lead as well.
I'm seeing a lot of SJ just outside of this long position, looking to burst at a moment's notice. As Body and Haji are letting him wait on the other side. It's going to be up to how these flashbangs, how this util is put together here. Afro catches out Lynxy towards lower mid, and well, that's a kill to find if you're LDLC. Some more damage done to Sixer here. Khan, of course, still up on short, but a man advantage found by LDLC, and a much needed one at that.
Absolutely here. 45 seconds on the clock with a great little man advantage to play with Body. Pins down Khan, and that should be exactly what they needed. Statics with a good response, and Sixer missing the first shot. Jemmy able to return the trade, but Sixer hits the shot when necessary. Takes out at least one of these players. The bomb can go down. Afro in that CT position, expecting maybe a flank to come through. With Jemmy on his way round, it's all about timing here. Afro, he is repeatedly checking that angle, but can't find the kill this time. As long as Arvid stays safe, Jemmy can now wrap back around onto short to provide that support. Arvid takes out Haji, and now it's all down to Sixer SJ. They've turned this around completely now.
So beautiful there. Leg shot from Sixer on the fadeaway, but SJ are going to put it even. Steven now 5-5, and well, I have to give credit there. Arvid getting himself into that site was so dangerous. He ducked his head, as you saw, looking at the ground to get himself safely across, and then Jemmy, a beautiful drop down into CT is what really made that round possible for SJ.
Oh, absolutely here. SJ, this is such a good little start for them right now. LDLC looking dangerously weaker on this CT side, given the fact that without their IGL of Lambert, maybe it's becoming a little bit more uncoordinated. And that's one thing that SJ will be looking to exploit, just to ensure that they've got the means necessary to be able to work on Dust 2 here. A nice little check by Sixer, the boost up actually working for some information, but not a lot to be gathered from this type of position. A little bit of util on that CT side, but really a lot of reliance on Sixer to be the man of the hour in this one. Those pistols can back him up, but it's the AWP that is most required, although Haji, this is a nice angle to put to the test. He's worked this so many times before in that Dawn stage, and he's looking to do exactly that again here.
Do find Sixer though. Haji, as he has said, he's put to work that angle, and he will find a few fruits of his labor. Trying to find another on the Khan. Was long there. Body's picked up that orb and put it into play now. As 3 members left here on the Eco. LDLC keep finding these kills. It's Afro finding Khan. And Arvid now left to salvage what felt like a round SJ should have won so convincingly.
Absolutely. This is a big let-off for LDLC. That AWP being the saving grace of this round. Arvid has been on form all series long so far, but a 1v3 surely seems unattainable for him here. 25 on the clock, and that bomb just dropped in such an awkward angle, being manned down by Body, being watched by every player of this LDLC side. A simple shutdown and a simple finish for LDLC. Essentially such a free round for them there as they do reclaim the lead. SJ can go for the rebuy, but Hadji again playing that position so perfectly and making sure that LDLC are competitive even in the weakest of rounds here.
A few missed shots, but he converts it in the end. Of course, the wallbang through the car. And LDLC now 6-5, and well, this is the spot you expected them to be in. Of course, a little more one-sided than we would have expecting, and well, SJ have found a few cheeky rounds here and there. Have led us to this scoreline, but very slow presence being taken in this round. You can feel the tension.
Absolutely. SJ right now just working those slower plays again. Out through long this time is where they'll be looking to work this one in their favor. The flashbang was good. Arvid gets away with the first. The corner peek works out though, but only good for the one. Jemmy trying to pounce, but it's Sixer with the reply this time. That now favors them as Afro taking one of his own as well, ensuring that a 3 versus 2 works for LDLC. They'll try and make a rotate. Round to the B bomb site they go, which is the best decision. Sure, they've got just a lone man of Afro on that bomb site. With the rotations so quickly available here on the CT side, SJ need to be perfect on this execution. They've got utility, but they need to start working it in their favor.
And well, Afro down to 46 on his HP bar. He's playing just outside of default. Good molly timing there. It's going to flush SJ and have to walk in now. Linksy caught in the cross, and Afro will pounce. And LDLC, with the beautiful timing there, now take 7-5 lead on their map pick. But SJ still have the money to buy here.
Absolutely, yeah, they're keeping a lot of cash in their favor, actually. T-side building up a solid bank, even despite those 2-round losses. Double AWP out, though, this time. Afro and Six are going to be picking up those duties, seeing what they can find in this type of angle. Jemmy, though, sent in to play that close corner. LDLC not willing to challenge in front of those Molotovs this time, so they'll just sit back, play passively, not wanting to over-aggress in this angle. However, flashbangs now to come through. Maybe a chance that LDLC can try and put that pressure on. Linksy being challenged down in this corner. Will find the first, and Six are burning. Will be dead in the Molotov. SJ Gaming clearing out these angles and now can look to take over long. The defenses are there for LDLC, but it all depends on this angle. And Afro dead. That's both ults down and a 5v2 for SJ.
5v1, make it 5v none. Arvid coming over the top, and beautiful shots there to find from Linksy. Pivotal there on the entry, and well, SJ, they steal away another round, now 6-7, and looking to potentially make it an even scoreline even. Of course, LDLC, not too much money to buy. Sixer with a scout, a few deagles in play, and this is a round you feel SJ now start to put the foot down.
Scary, the fact that they're already making some solid T-sided rounds from this. Sixer with the scout. Rips the head of Linksy clean off, and he's still looking for more as well. Arvid could cross under the scope and just gets the perfect timing. Hadji able to sneak up through that suicide angle, maybe an opportunity. Afro inside of tunnels as well, so they've got some options, they've got some possibilities. Afro might be able to make a trade out of this, but Arvid not really willing to commit to this sort of fight. Not now when they know they've got the A-bomb site in their favor. Timing for Afro will get taken out. Perfect check by Arvid. His game sense tingling for him this time. Hadji with the return, and that's an AWP in his hand, which you can definitely try and put to work, but Khan crossed over the angle. And the one thing for SJ right now, they want to deny those saves. They do not want to allow an AWP into the next round.
The chase is on, but LDLC have gotten themselves some nice high ground here up in T-spawn. And, well, we look at Sadie, of course. He's going to be running his way through, though. Khan going to be doubling them up there. And SJ, again, even it up now 7-7. And, well, one wouldn't expect a T side of this from SJ.
I'm shocked by how good they're playing, actually. The fact that they've been able to take SJ to 7 rounds and LDLC really, I wouldn't say struggling, but definitely not the safest half that we've seen them have in this type of position. That shot coming very close, and SJ, well, they're going to pick up the pace. It's Sixer that misses that first shot. They'll find the early one and absolutely tag up Afro. There's so much damage done. Smiley in the defense, but trading back to a 3v3. It's the site still under threat. They've got a flank on the way through mid, but Arvid, he just keeps it going. Now the flank can come in, but they might just expect this. Body, he is very aware of what could be as he walks into the angle. Now it's all down to Sadix.
He snuck his way through the door. Smoke, though, now down to the 1v1. In his spots Hadji's head, can't quite flick down to it. And you can feel he's getting closer and closer by the second, though. Sadie lining it up in the end. And SJ Gaming, I'm going to take the half lead 8-7 here on LDLC's map pick.
So good from SJ right now. This is a really promising performance, actually, given that this was the T side. You look statistically at most of their 1 rounds on Dust 2, it's coming from that CT half. So given the fact that they have been able to get just recently 9 rounds against the side of Fate, despite losing 16-11, this could really be a great opportunity right now for SJ to push towards a lead. Those live odds provided by Betway really favoring the Finns, and scarily, that's probably the right decision to make now, even despite this map of Dust 2 being the pick for LDLC. It's the Finns that are looking much more competent in this play. I think the effect of not having Lambert is really starting to kick in right now for this side.
It's definitely looking that way. LDLC now, I feel, looking a little lost in this later stage of that first half, of course, on the second map. And now, well, smoke's being deployed towards long. Just trying to sell the fake, but Sadie won't pounce at a moment's notice. Body, though, hits the head. And again, SJ need to hold off these A hits. As Body just making a bit of work, though. Khan has dropped the bomb over at B. The fake not being sold. One a sight, one a play. Tap comes out. Sixer now left in the door against Khan, and Khan getting it also very close. Needs to reload here. The ring around to Rosie. Tags up Sixer, takes him low, puts it between his head. And now, 1v1 Body comes walking up from CT, but Khan with a beautiful shot, a beautiful angle. Calm under the pressure, keeping SJ in the lead and winning that second half pistol.
That's the experience kicking in there from Khan, one of the elder players on this roster, coming in at 30 years of age, but still putting out some great little frags here for this SJ Gaming side, keeping them in the running, keeping them in the fight as they establish now that 9-7, an option to push this far further than expected. Sadix already taking out the first frag. They'll spot some info at the back of A long doors as well. The one thing that SJ don't need to do now is get that over aggressive. Jenny will sit back, take the triple. Linksy to finish the job onto Body. A nice round there from SJ. 10-7 guaranteed. Double digits on their favor now as well. LDLC's first buy to come, but still so very impressed with SJ's performance here.
And we finally see double digits on a Dust 2 game for SJ. Well, who better than against LDLC? One of the teams that's one of the premier Dust 2 gamers in this league. And of course, well, it's Linksy taking a scout shot straight through middle, finding Smiley early on. And, well, the flash comes out, doesn't pay off. But SJ aren't feeling like letting up the gas just yet. Jemmy continues forward. He gets the second on the Sixer. Arvid taking a few low, but Body with a good transfer. And all of a sudden, we're left to Linksy in a 1v2. Both these players very low, though.
Oh, a single bullet will do the job on both of them here. LDLC keeping the rotate going, though, round to the B site. This retake looking incredibly likely, though. The fact that Linksy still has a HE grenade in hand as well. This is where things could get so increasingly difficult for LDLC. Bomb on its way to the site. Planted in the default position. We'll be able to put it down at least. But as they start to realize now that the mid position is quiet, they've surely got to start to realize that this might just have to be a tunnels rotate. Hadji definitely aware of what's to come. Linksy needs to be aware of his utility here, but he takes the first now. Surely with that corner being held, he knows it's a crossfire, but Body takes the head. And Linksy, you've got to think he had a smoke, a flash, and a nade there. Used none of them in that retake. That might have been the saving grace, but LDLC, they bagged themselves the first round here on that second half.
A much needed one at that, of course. Some beautiful gunfights going the way of LDLC now. It's up to Jay to bounce back, of course, dropping around that, but keeping their momentum going, of course. Still have the open play of Linksy.
This would be a solid angle to take right now for Linksy. At least the info spotted by LDLC, though. As the rotate to be made by SJ, very, very scared of what is to come right now on that B bomb site. So we'll just keep two players inside of middle. But it's LDLC that are slowing it down right now to accommodate for this push. Maybe a sort of peek into mid could be on the cards. Arvid ready and waiting for this angle. Jemmy caught off guard, but Arvid saves his life. A trade by Sixer. Tagging Jemmy down to 31 as well. So it is a 4 versus 4. The angle might favor Sadix here, but needs to get his head out of that way. Spotted out and will be able to retreat. 50 seconds on the clock, though, and it's around to the B site for LDLC. Oh, Hadji. So far, so good. Takes out that first player with Jemmy on the back of the site. There's one for him, but Afro quick with the trade. Still denied and back to a 2v2, but it's the flank on the way that works out. No bullets, though. Sadix able to take him down. It's a 1 versus 1, and Afro missing the timing. SJ Gaming 11-8, and back into the lead they go now.
Beautiful round find, and SJ seems to put together these rounds that they shouldn't be winning.
Absolutely. Oh, Linksy again with the scout. This man is not stopping right now. SJ scarily seeming so prepared for Dust 2, despite this being one of their statistically worst maps. LDLC looking like they are just not coordinating as this side would be, and unfortunately it's probably down to the lack of Lambert on this side. They are feeling that wrath of not having an IGL now, of not having that stable leader, and that's something that they don't seem to be getting over right now. Body and Hadji putting out a great number of frags, but it's the rest of the side right now and the sort of strats that aren't coordinating. So 12-8. SJ Gaming now on the way to potentially locking LDLC out of these next couple of rounds. It all depends on how this one plays off. It's LDLC ready for the fight. Out through long they go. Great first frag by Hadji, followed by a second. That's the way you want to start, but Khan still gets a reply at least for one.
And well, nade comes out, trade comes again. It's a bloody bloodbath here towards long here, and well, Body will be catching out but it's left to Khan now in the 1v2. As LDLC decide to take the fight to SJ towards long. They will finally win it out. The rotate coming in to B. It's up to Khan, the veteran here for SJ. And, well, smoke and flash in his hand here. Body down to 25 points of HP, but Khan's going to have to work quickly here.
Especially with that bomb planted. Angle is being held. Six are beautiful. Picks off the head as easy as that. Takes out the remaining SJ player and keeping the win in their favor. 14 not allowed for SJ. Slowing things down. LDLC back into that winning potential. But still, gonna have to be an eco here. Unless they force up, yeah, they'll have to, unfortunately. Players like Lynxy, just not with the economy safe enough to eco things out. So it is back to another rebuy for the SJ side. Lynxy going aggressive, trying to get any sort of information. A B bomb site stack out of SJ right now, putting 3 players inside of the tunnels, trying to work out the information. Although this could be their demise. Hadji spots out a lot of that info, forcing these players close. Lynxy now dead as well. Static's caught off guard, but Jemmy with the FAMAS putting up a great fight here. Still kept alive, but not for long. Back to a 3v2, and this now works out for LDLC. With the bomb down, Khan and Arvid.
Well, for Khan, he's got a bit of util to work with, 2 flashes. But LDLC very, very poised.
Oh, it's going to be an awkward peek for Arvid. Does he check the pit is the question. Most definitely does, and spots out Smiley. Does take the kill as well. Time is ticking, though, and with no defuse kit, this round looking absolutely gone, unfortunately. They will try and save an AK, but LDLC tracking back into double digits. Going to have to be an eco now from SJ. 6 are denying the save as well. So 12 to 10, and with money gone, presented now with an opportunity to potentially start to get right back into the game here for LDLC.
Well, that's what you want to see from LDLC. Now finally showing up here on Dust 2. And, well, of course, it's going to be SJ stuck on the pistol. It's going to be stacking out towards long. A lot of util being tossed early, but LDLC have a feeling, and it might be a right one, that B's completely open for the table.
Absolutely just walked into this bomb site as easy as that. SJ not giving anything up, unfortunately, on this LDLC side. So T-spawn rotate to be made. A very quick round here by the LDLC side, preparing to put that bomb down already, ensuring that this round is at least ticking over. So 12 to 11 has been confirmed. LDLC with maybe some simple frags to come as well. Body picking them off as quickly as they come. A 4K for him, not available for the ace, but not that he'll be living to tell the tale. 6 are finishing the job. 1 round differential, a rebuy to come for SJ, but it won't be that fruitful. A real opportunity now for LDLC to start to put things back in their favor this time.
And, well, it's really been Body chiming in and carrying LDLC now across this round differential, and on 25 kills, an absolute all-star on the entry, and now it's up to 6 on what can he do? He's been mollied off, of course, not able to peak. SJ need to show a bit of adaptability here, of course, as LDLC have had a bit of a resurgence going into the later stage of the second half.
Seems like they're finally getting back to winning ways here on that LDLC side. You can tell that they're in such an awkward spot for SJ when it's Lynxy with a scout rather than taking any other weapon, just to have that scoped play, that opportunity for him this time. But so far, so good for LDLC. The chance to take this to not just 12 to 12, but establish a little bit of a lead as well. It's A side for for LDLC that is looking more likely. Oh, the angle.
Ooh.
Just about favors Six, so that's a great way to start. It would have been an early entry for SJ. Had that frag gone in their favor, but not this time. It's the A-bomb site that now is wide open. SJ should already consider the save here in this position.
Of course, Sixer will be planting that bomb. Haji in a very, very nice lurk position here, though. Jemmy down in the pit, and it'll be all up to what SJ can save here, because LDLC, of course, 5 alive, going for the hunt towards this B site, and of course it's Arvid and Khan just lying in wait for a moment's notice there. The Molly, HE as well. Khan still in a very nice off angle here. Arvid will be hunted just as Afro comes peeking through the door there. It's a quick trade. SJ going to be saving 2 rifles, but LDLC are going to even it up now, 12-12 here on their map pick.
This is fantastic right now here. 4 rounds in a row. SJ finally calling a little bit more of a tactical timeout, maybe considering the options they have right now. Because most likely LDLC, they'll be establishing a lead in this late stage of this second half. The second map, of course, the map pick of LDLC themselves, but it's one of those positions right now where they sure made 11 rounds against Fate, now have 12 against LDLC, but are they stable enough to complete the task at hand is the question. Well, it's another eco to come. A scout for Lynxie being dropped out. The M4's still in play, so a little bit of extra firepower. But what can they really get out of this? It's 12-12, and LDLC looking like they're pressing for the lead now.
Well, it's going to be how SJ can potentially catch off one of the LDLC players here. Body, the all-star entry, has been so far this entire game. Down towards middle. But SJ, show a bit of presence, then back off here. They really need to shut down the entries from Body, because they've been coming in hot all half long, and well, it's going to be Lynxie. Very nice angle there towards middle, even spots the player in suicide. Sixer, that's why they call it suicide, because you're dead to the world, sir. Afro, but a quick trade there, and another on to, actually died to his own molly. That's unfortunate.
Oh, that's so awkward. That Molotov will be allowing Jemmy to stick alive, but not for long. Back to a 2 versus 2. There is a mid flank on the way. That M4 might be the most prevalent aspect here as they just spot out the info. Arvid surely needs to be aware of what's to come here. Might just be worth putting his head down, staying safe, waiting for the approach right now. But no, it'll work out this time. Arvid gets away with the frag, and now it's going to be a quick response from Static to burst through the door. The work out for SJ. He'll take out Arvid in the process, but he will not care. 13-12, and back into the lead for the Finns. A very nice eco round secured there.
And that was such a beautiful headshot to find from Arvid there, of course. One would like him to see him duck his head, but they're not going to check him. And of course, that has been what has really netted SJ a few of these rounds. Of course, a few unchecked positions. Body, well, he's had enough of it. He's looking to go entering out towards long. There's a lot of players up who short. Jemmy, quick to trade and quick to double down there. Sixer, no finding one. A lot of SJ still over at A here, and Arvid and Khan ready at a moment's notice. A good flash comes out. It's a good trade and good util usage here from SJ. It's up to Sixer, and he's going to be caught dead to the world. 14 now for SJ, and LDLC aren't sitting too great economy-wise either.
Oh, absolutely. This is monstrous right now from SJ. Given the fact that LDLC have very little in the bank, it will have to be an eco most likely on the way now. As Smiley and a few extra players sure are over the threshold of a buy into the next round, but this one definitely not on the cards, as most likely will have to be that eco round on the way. 14, most likely turning into 15 here for the SJ Gaming side, and scarily, they're on track to take their first Dust 2 win in a long time here. This is not a good position for LDLC to be in right now.
It appears losing Lambert too much for them right now. They look shattered, in shambles here, and SJ looking to capitalize off of the weakness, and well, it's going to be a lot of mid-aggression again here by LDLC, but SJ are going to be answering in kind there. Jemmy peeks out, gets dinked, doesn't quite find a kill just yet. As these LDLC players now starting to get close there. Molly tossed. A flash as well from Sadix. Jemmy gonna be getting away. It's a good shot found onto Sixer. So LDLC, the death ball comp up towards short. Not gonna pay off just yet. The good nade as well there on the Smiley.
Fantastic util usage so far from the SJ side. Footsteps now being heard on the crossfire. The flash was good. Emmy and Khan able to take out 2. They've got the backup necessary. Had a great response. Not that they can do much to prevent that. 15-12 map and series point now for SJ. A rebuy can come through. A plentiful one at that for the T side. But with 3 opportunities for SJ to close things out, it seems like LDLC have got a task too insurmountable to complete here.
Saw a very, I feel, similar scenario, of course, from our first game. LDLC weren't quite able to close it out. Maybe Dust 2 better favored for them, but Jemmy getting so aggressive up through short. Sadie as well. The intel now being gained. There's a few towards lower tunnels here. And Jemmy catches off Smiley. There's a few more lying in wait, though. Molly towards Sewer. Smoke as well. Good trade from Afro. Arvid's also aggressed through long, and he's been found by Sixer.
A very weird round from SJ. Not like the SJ we've seen at all here. A quick cleanup of this round right now. The flashbang blinding Khan as well, as the position's already being manned down on that T side. So LDLC, they will guarantee round number 13. And LDLC, they've got to thank their lucky stars that they actually did get that round there, push it closer. And SJ, sure, they can go for the rebuy, but can they secure the victory? Lynxy can get the AWP out. Economy is in tatters, though. This might go to round 30 here, purely based on an eco save, but no, it's a force buy from SJ. LDLC win this one. This might just be going into overtime.
It's all on the cards here for SJ. Sixer with a beautiful shot straight down through bottom middle there, and Haji and Afro light up the scoreboard in kind. It's now just up to Lynxy, the only man left here, up in his hands. But SJ, it's not looking very, very likely that they'll close it out in regulation. We might be seeing the overtime.
Oh, it feels absolutely necessary here at this point. LDLC have just absolutely stormed over SJ. With the position that they're in right now, it seems like they might not have the tenacity to finish this in round number 30 or 29, definitely. So with a minute left on the clock, LDLC slowing things down, and we'll be moving toward that B bomb site, just wanting to check every single angle just to be sure of what was going on in this type of position. But with 45 on the clock, they now know the B bomb site is clear. We'll put that plant down and solidify that we do see round number 30 and maybe an extension of this game. We don't feel done yet here on Dust 2.
And I feel SJ maybe we've gotten a little over-eager. Of course, the short push not paying off in that last round here. Well, let's see. Presented the opportunity to get some exits. Will getting one there. Haji, though, shortly behind him. And it's actually Afro from the backstab. 14-15 now. LDLC are looking to take us to overtime here. SJ maybe put under the gun with that force buy. Have nothing but pistols, a bit of util, and a scout on Lynxy.
Scarily, these are some of the rounds that weirdly do look winnable for the CT side. If they can just stack into a bomb site and just try and be nuisances, then maybe they can make something like this possible, but it is really going to depend on how this round really starts off. It's the opening passage of play that is the most important. And LDLC, as of right now, are walking into a little bit more of a stack. Lynxy in the short angle gets the tag onto body. That's all he needs to do with the scout. If he can soften up the targets for these Desert Eagles to make them one-shots, that's where the scout can be so powerful. And LDLC, they now understand what is up on this A-bomb site. They know there's a scout in play. They know that Jemmy's on the corner. Now do they force him out is the question. Lynxy dead. And with the first man down, that will force the rotate of these SJ players' side. But look at LDLC. They're just grouped up on short, unwilling to move right now.
And now they will be making their way out. Hafra has taken a bit of tag there. Sadie will be finding the kill on the body. So these SJ players are holding on for the moment, but the walk-up will come on in. Arvid towards lower tunnel, but Smiley has read it. Only a leg shot for the time being. And Deagle will be whipped out. Smiley with a drop shot. As the rest of LDLC have made their way out. Smiley, though, a massive triple there. Shuts down any hopes of SJ Gaming. And we're going into overtime here on Dust 2. On the second map here, of course. LDLC's map picking. They're not done with it just yet.
Oh, absolutely. It feels like we are extending this one much, much further. Well, looking at the last time that SJ played overtime, it was back in July of this year. It was against the Germans of TTC, a very unknown aspect. They did take the win 19-16 here on Dust 2 overtime, but against a squad like LDLC, what are they capable of? Well, we'll see what happens here. Now that SJ do have that full set of economy, though, you almost have to not favor them, but definitely give them a better chance. However, Hadji on that second sniper, great way to start. He'll shut down Sadix early, giving LDLC a quick 5 versus 4 to play with so far.
And you can see the pressure that just body alone from lowers is making here for the side of LDLC. And of course, Molly will be coming out. They will actually catch him. That's a good Molly from Khan. And a good trade kill to find from SJ. But now they need to batten down the hatches. The A hit going to be coming in here. Smoke to cross from Afro. Molly as well. He'll be making his way up through short. And he has actually drawn the rotate here from SJ.
Yeah, scarily, this A-bomb site is now not wide open for the taking, but definitely a lot of info to be garnered by that SJ side. They realize that B is clear. They need to man the rotate now. Given this angle is being held by Lynxy, there's no reason to put a player on that short CT push with him. Although Afro, they know what's up now. They'll force the peak, but Afro, he'll get away with 2. A monstrous play from him on short. And now it's the A side that will be pincered in by a long. A great think, however. They'll find at least some damage done, but Jemmy out through the swing gets away with a double, all down to Arvid. But look at the time on the clock. Is there enough for the plant is the question. I don't think there is. They need the frag at this point.
Oh, Arvid, you brilliant, brilliant man there. Sitting in the smoke. Here's the footsteps. He even gets the double dink through the door. SJ somehow win that round off the back of a beautiful double there from Jemmy. Just saying, screw it, I'm going through. And all hands on deck now. LDLC losing the first round of overtime. But of course, they still need a few more from the side of SJ Gaming. Of course, 3 to win, 2 to take it to match point.
One thing that SJ love, it's that confidence boost they get from a first overtime victory. Dropping down into pit, Lynxy. Great spot of the position and an extra tad of info. Arvid, he'll find a second as well. LDLC, two-man disadvantage. The A side locked down and rotate seeming impossible to get out of that pit position, although with Lynxy not holding, they might be able to walk back and play a little safer, but dear Lord, LDLC, they are in a tough position, that's for certain. Molotov's down. Needs being expended. Lynxy wanting to go aggressive. Jemmy backing up his teammate. Finally a trade to come through. It's already a 4 versus 2, and with Spam being tagged up with damage inflicted and the site locked out, it really works out for SJ right now.
So Molly to short here. Haji's trying to walk up, make it doable. Jemmy a bit overzealous on the peak. Well, can't. Oh, million headshots. And he hits that one of all things. Haji now down against 2. 3 HP, a good HE comes out. And, Arvid nailing the head, nailing the shot. SJ, by the skin of their teeth, put together another 17 to 15 here.
They're looking so lightning hot right now with this one. Again, LDLC can keep up the rebuy. They can keep up the full offense here to come. 17 on the board for SJ. One more to clean up the half and take this into match and series point right now. But LDLC, here comes the barrage of bullets. This time focusing fully down on top mid. First player in the B site as well, but it's A they focus on right now. However, the rotate to be made very quickly by SJ, seeming to want to focus more on middle. They've got a good setup down long. They've got players into that position in mid as well. LDLC just needing this round to keep themselves in the runnings, but SJ, the read is looking pretty good for them right now, understanding that mid is definitely an option for them.
Well, Molly comes out, flushes Sadie off the line, and Afro will be picking off Lynxy. But still, members standing strong here. Smoke comes out, Sadie will walk through, but the A hit will be coming, and Arvid needs to be careful here. There's a player crouching, ducking his head through short, and he has been spotted though. Good shot from Arvid. Shuts down the push. Jemmy also finding Haji over at long, and well, now it's all on the cards here. LDLC need to throw this Hail Mary A hit.
Oh, Arvid. Oh, that is absolutely beautiful. Clean up crew. LDLC taken out of this round so incredibly quickly. 18 to 15. SJ, I don't know how, but they're on match point again. 3 rounds in the reserve. So much money to play with. Surely they can't let this one slip.
Surely not. They've been in this position in so many games, and well, the veterans of Khan, the absolutely all-star prowess from Jemmy and Sadie have been really leading the charge here for SJ, and now, of course, the sides have swapped as match point for SJ. Lynxy tries to get aggressive, tries to find an early peak on the LDLC roster, but now they're going straight up through short, not a moment's delay. Sixer needs it, he's shot, and it misses completely. SJ now storming their way onto the site. We'll get that bomb down. Not just yet, though. Molly comes in.
Oh, messy from the side of SJ. They will get some damage in, and a nice trade at least for 1, maybe 2 as Khan again picking these players off, but still the corner works out this time. A spray to come through. Lynxy, that AWP is so vital, but Sixer just picks him off. That's the bomb now down in CT as well. A chance for Lynxy, does hit the one onto body. Of course, with an AWP, you don't need all the health in the world, as Sixer lined up on the angle. He hears one in CT. Understands what is necessary. Goes for the drop down, but Afro prepared. And LDLC make it 16, their first victory on the CT side.
And it's to a credit there, the chaos that happened from SJ. They looked like they were pulling the trigger there towards A, but too many players from LDLC stacked up over that site, and well, chaos ensued from there. And LDLC, it appears they like the chaos and they will thrive in it. SJ now going back to a more default style of play here in this second round.
Did have a solid B spawn there. Thought they might have committed to a little bit more of a rush in this one, but of course not the wisest of decisions to make. So we'll go for the seemingly B-sided approach. Two players ready. That nade is absolutely fantastic. Now here comes the aggro plays right now from the SJ side, but Smiley good for one. Jemmy trading it back, and now here comes the insta-rotate. SJ know they've got an advantage, even despite the lack of health. It's straight up towards short for them, and now the A side under threat. They've relinquished all control. Hadji and Sixer, though, there's 2 kills in return. The bomb can go down, but it's a difficult round for SJ.
Of course, no util left in their hands. Afro with a molly, Sixer with a flash, and well, it's going to be up to how they play this 2v3. Of course, Linksy orb and a pick that needs to be found. He lines it up. It's the first onto Hadji. Now, Sadie, what can he do? His head being shown, and Sixer immediately taps it out of existence. LDLC now 17-18. And this game just doesn't want to finish for either of these teams.
Oh, it keeps on going, SJ. Every single round so far been CT-sided, and the fact that SJ had 18-15 in their back pockets, and the fact that LDLC might just be taking this into another set of overtime is such a scary factor. Now here comes the spam down middle. That's some great damage, Arvid. He'll find the first onto Afro, second onto Smiley. No, how is this happening? LDLC, that's a French tactic abused by the Finns, and now they ramp it into 6th gear toward this victory.
Well, that is just beautiful adaptation there. You saw Arvid even hold the shot for the moment, and then now Sixer faced with 2 players peeking. Arvid has found body over at B, and now left to Sixer and Hadji. What can they do? 5 members strong here. SJ storm that B bomb site. Jemmy even trading that kill out. Hadji, what can you do with the world at your feet?
So much to do. He's already dead, unfortunately. The footsteps being heard, the angle taken. SJ finishing the job. Their first Dust 2 win in about 4.5 months, and it comes at such a vital time. SJ, they take the series 2-0, and what a performance that was.
And I have to give credit to really all of SJ. Just absolutely all-star performance there for the entirety of that roster. The IGL even showing a massive there. We saw many impact kills found by Arvid alone. And of course, that's going to be a 2-0 victory here for SJ against LDLC.
Absolutely. It's a little bit drawn out. It's like the Isako Boars game of yesterday. It went into overtime and into that 16-14 like it did yesterday, but this time they ride the wave. And LDLC, unfortunately, it's that main lack of Lambert that for me really had the impact. They just looked a little more uncoordinated. While Smiley was a solid fragger, it just wasn't enough as the guidance of that IGL that they needed.
And you definitely saw, especially in that first map, the start of it, SJ just reading the plays, of course, from the IGL of Arvid, just doing absolutely phenomenal stuff for them that entire game. And I have to give a shout out to that one round, Jemmy pushing through that smoke, getting that double, dropping that bomb, and just making the momentum in the favor of SJ Gaming there.
Yeah, every individual stepped up there, which is the great part for SJ. I mean, one of their first Dust 2 wins in like 4.5 months. That shows that they were on form there. And well, they take the series. They grab the 2-0. They put LDLC down in the 0-2 bracket. But ladies and gentlemen, that's not all for today. We've got another match coming up, of course. But SJ, they'll just be glad to be out of that one. I think if they went to a third map, that would have been...